Tinubu ordered electricity to be cut off to neighboring Niger. He's also been one of the strongest advocates for a military intervention, but did not win over the Senate, which actually rejected his call. And despite condemning the legitimacy of Niger's new rulers, the Nigerian president's own record has actually been called into question. This by a recent report by the Grey Zone investigative outlet.
You have just over and over throughout his political career these huge corruption scandals that have somehow not managed to destroy his political career. Throughout this process, he's been meeting repeatedly, according to WikiLeaks cables that I reviewed, with the U.S. Embassy and its officials, and basically briefing them over and over again on the political landscape in Nigeria. The U.S. ambassador at the time said that his assessments have been very useful for the Americans. And so you have to wonder, why was Bola Tinubu never indicted in the United States? Why was he allowed to keep so much of the initially seized money from his bank accounts that was said to be involved in drug trafficking? What kind of deal was he able to strike with American authorities? And you have to also understand that Bola Tinubu is the perfect kind of imperial puppet for the United States. This is what they do over and over again, is they find a compromised figure, somebody that they can exert leverage on, and they prop them up. And the second that they become no longer useful, they go after them and they get rid of them. They put them in jail or have them taken out, So for what's going on in Niger right now and in West Africa, he's the perfect person for the United States because they can basically make him do whatever they want. The bigger problem here is that the Nigerian Senate has rejected his request to invade Niger. So it looks like he's trying to use his power at ECOWAS, the regional bloc that he chairs, to have an invasion. And just 2 days ago, ECOWAS said that they would attack Niger, but they won't announce when and where or how.
Important to note that Niger is vital in helping to keep the lights on in Europe. It's been its third largest supplier of uranium for the past 2 decades, which is, of course, key for nuclear energy. And amid the political turmoil in the West African country, Paris insists it must be business as usual. So back to Alex Rubenstein one more time from the Grey Zone.
The future of Western economies, at least insofar as Western planners see it, rely on the exploitation of low-wage miners in Western Africa. And so the United States wants to do a Green New Deal that's going to require rare earth minerals. The United States wants to keep funding the military-industrial complex while they can't produce sophisticated weapon systems without this kind of stuff. Any kind of smart technology or green technology relies heavily on this stuff. And so this is in many ways a battle for the future of economic dominance. What's at risk here is a regional proxy war that is very dangerous for not just West Africa, but these things spill over. And I believe that this conflict in West Africa has a potential to spy a lot of control and brings us that much closer to World War III territory.
And perhaps no surprise that the U.S. has not been sitting on the fence over this. There she is right there, top official Victoria Nuland. She made a mad dash to Niger, where she had, quote, difficult negotiations with some of the coup leaders, pressuring them to reinstate the deposed president. However, Nuland met neither with the ousted president nor with the new leader. And in the wake of Washington cutting off funding, it says it will resume the flow of cash if indeed the new military junta stands down.
The secretary announced on Friday also that we are pausing assistance to the government for the time being. That assistance will affect development aid to the government, security aid to the government. It's a significant amount. I don't have a number because it's a pause, and it's a pause that we would hope would be reversed if the junta leaders would step aside and restore constitutional order tomorrow. That pause would be the pause would go away and security assistance would be reinstated. But as we've made clear, hundreds of millions of dollars are at stake.